Overwatch 2 is the most complex shooter out there right now, and unlike other shooters like CSGO or Valorant, there's a lot of verticality in the game. Pharah, for example, is a flying hero, or you have tanks like Reinhardt who have their head way higher than someone smaller like Lucio, and you can't just aim and predict where someone's head's gonna be all the time. Being an aim god will only get you so far in Overwatch 2, and that's something that I've noticed a lot while I'm climbing through the low ranks of gold. There are people in here who have amazing aim, hitting almost every shot imaginable like they're fucking possessed of something, but their positioning, ult economy, timing, things like that, they're all completely wrong, and they all end up dead or losing the game because of it. And it's frustrating because at first glance, Overwatch seems like a shooter where the main focus is shooting. And yeah, I get it. Why wouldn't shooting be the main focus of a fucking shooter game? To answer that, we'll have to go over why it's so hard to get consistent results in Overwatch 2. Every hero has some sort of lethal condition, and every hero can kill anyone. Even a Mercy will be able to kill a Roadhog if the stars align. That's never happened to me, I swear. The answer though can be found in Chaos Theory, specifically the butterfly effect. That's a part of it, or something, I don't know the specifics. In the 2004 movie called The Butterfly Effect, our main character experiences something bad, and so travels back in time and prevents that bad thing from happening years ago. And because life is so seemingly random with so many factors at play, when the main character returns back from that time travel, his whole life is just completely different. He does that the whole movie, and then the movie ends. Wow. Anyways, the point of the summary was to explain how one little change can affect everything. Even the smallest changes can have a huge impact. So let's take a full team fight. One fight, Ana misses all her shots on the enemies, which allows an enemy Pharah to step in and use her ult. Now let's do the same fight again, but now Ana hits 2 of her shots. That brings the Pharah to a third of her health, and now when the Pharah tries to do the same thing with her ult, the Pharah can only get a couple of ult shots in before she just dies. And now Ana's team is winning. And that's only 2 shots from 1 out of 10 people in a fight. And we're not even taking into account what everyone's positioning is, where the health packs are, how healthy everyone is, what heroes are out there, and you understand what I'm saying, right? There are so many factors that one teeny tiny change can change the whole outcome of a game. Okay, but what do the high ranking players do then? Well, if I could tell you, I wouldn't be a gold player. But what I can tell you is that a bunch of the higher ranked players have solved a lot of the common problems of the lower ranks. But why do they get this information? I don't know. My guess is just years of playing and intuition. But what about us new players? How am I supposed to gap the bridge of years of experience when the best guides of Overwatch are just saying things like, everything is situational? Of course, everything is situational. I'm not gonna position like an Orisa while I'm playing a Mercy, thank you very much. So let's take a look at a couple of videos and what I think is wrong with them from the point of view of a new player. Here's this video from Motto TM. It's called Overwatch Guides, How to Position, Things to Consider. And this is the general style of guides in Overwatch. Guidelines. And that's all we get. Everything is situational, and you kind of just have to think for yourself if you want any real answers. It's like I'm asking for the distance from the moon to the earth, and you're giving me a fucking ruler. And I think this is criminal. And this is a problem because there's no specific information on how to position and where to position besides general things like take high ground, take cover, stick with your team. I know, what more do you want me to do to get better? And you know what? The other day, I was figuring out how to 1v1 against a Reaper as a Sombra. And it took me a look on the wiki and a lot of trial and error to figure out that Reaper's fall-off range is 20 meters. And Sombra's fall-off range is 35 meters. Meaning I have to stand about 20 meters away from a Reaper to win a 1v1 consistently, since that Reaper can't hit me anymore. But if he gets near me, I die. The Reaper has a higher damage per second and he heals off his shots. And the fact that Sombra is actually a pretty good mid-range hero instead of a short-range hero, as her spread would suggest, is some kind of obscure information. Am I just blind or something? Why isn't there a good video with beginners in mind? As I looked around for Sombra guides, I noticed that the guides were either beginner things mixed in with overly complex things. Like in this video from Keijo, he goes over every ability that Sombra has. And we start with the gun, okay, that's all good. But then he talks about specific damage numbers and a hidden tip. And I think that's the best way to confuse someone new to Overwatch. What am I gonna do with the information about her rate of fire, or her damage per second, or how to reload faster? I don't know how much health most heroes have. I could literally not even tell you how much health a Reinhardt or a Widowmaker has. I don't know. And so what am I gonna do with the knowledge that Sombra has 160 damage per second? I don't know if that makes Sombra better or faster than killing others with a gun. And specifically in this video, there's not even a mention about how if you keep shooting with Sombra, her gun starts to get a bigger spread. And in my opinion, it's really important to know. I'm not saying this is a bad video. I'm just saying that from a beginner's point of view, there's too much advanced stuff woven in. And in this video from Rilo, it's called A Complete Sombra Guide on How to Play Sombra. And it's actually pretty good. I watched this video and it's helped me a lot. Great. It's sectioned and it goes from I know nothing how to play Sombra to okay, I can hack Lucio to stop this wall ride. But if he's amped up with his healing song, I generally can't kill him. That kind of vibe. But then this video's advanced section doesn't talk about how Sombra outranges Reaper and how to beat him, or how you would beat Brigitte or Tracer. There's no matchup guide in this specific video. It does go over every hero and how to hack them and how to generally play with them. But in the end, it's just a hacking guide. I mean, holy shit, it's helped me a lot. But I can't just ignore that there's a bunch of other bits of information that I need. And then there's this video from Emilia on how to play Moira in Overwatch 2. And I find this video fantastic if you want to learn Moira. But it's also guilty as fuck as to not explaining the basic of the abilities. She never mentions that the ball and the healing from her hands affect multiple people in a radius? And it's like one of the most basic things that every Overwatch player should know. And I get the feeling that there are a bunch of people out there that have no clue. The vibe that I'm getting from some even lower ranked players or even newer players than me is that they literally don't know what their kid is doing. I've seen Kirikos that either know everything or they know nothing about the Suzu. And even a friend of mine played Kiriko and I died in front of him while he still had Suzu, and I asked him, hey, did you not have Suzu? And he told me Suzu was a cleanse, so there was no point in using it. He didn't even know that Suzu cleanses and makes anyone in a small radius invulnerable. And then on the other hand, I was playing Sombra and I hacked an enemy Bob as fast as I could, and then the enemy Kiriko Suzu'd the hack. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it makes sense. And how the fuck are these two Kirikos the same rank? And there's a big fucking gap in everyone's knowledge. And my reasoning behind it is that the Overwatch content creators are all so highly ranked for so long that they just assume that we all know a bunch of these things already. Simple things like fall off range, heal packs, hero health pools, what armor does, how overtime works, things like that. And make sure to let me know in the comments if you have anything to add what I'm saying here. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm just the one who can fight guides from himself. I don't know. And okay, I've been bashing on these videos, but honestly, they're all good videos at the end of the day. My problem with them is that the basics of the game is just something that people are expected to know without anyone giving information, besides going to r/Overwatch University and going to the simple questions thread over there. So there's random tips videos, generic guides videos, but what about in-depth videos for specific situations? Let's say I wanted to learn how to position with Sombra on attack while I'm playing on Watchpoint Gibraltar, what to do when the enemy is bunkering on the high ground up there, or when they're diving spawn, and I'm talking about the first checkpoint. And I've seen a couple of map guides and they were really good for their value, but their production quality is fucking awful. There's no editing. The videos are like 20 to 40 minutes long and I feel like I'm in class listening to Mr. Teacher telling me how to stop reflecting the light with my watch in Billy's eyes and pay attention. Yeah, fuck you, Billy. And another thing about Overwatch creators is that I just don't understand the obsession with unranked to GM. Why are you still doing that? I understand that 10 hours of venture gameplay is amazing to be able to see and learn from, but what am I going to learn when I don't understand the underlying principles behind certain actions? And sure, I can understand learning from example and giving enough examples. Anyone could improve, but that's not what I want to do with my time. I don't want to learn Overwatch by watching this 10-hour video. I want short, concise guides, very focused and structured in a way that doesn't waste my time. And this has been a thing for years and here's a champion spotlight, basically a video on what this specific champion does. And I haven't played League in a while, so I don't even know this champion. It's new. He's called Smolder, and just from watching this 5-minute video, I know exactly what he does. It's a short guide on how to play him and what he does, but it's from an official channel. This is the real League of Legends channel. Why the fuck doesn't Blizzard or anyone in the space do this? And here, let me just fucking do it for you with Sombra. Here, Sombra's passive ability is a stealth. She's permanently invisible out of combat and gains extra movement speed. You get seen by others when you're too close to enemies, so be careful. And whenever you're out of combat, you go back into stealth after a short time. This passive is great for getting behind people to assassinate them, running around the map with your extra speed, and even escaping from a bad situation. Try not to get hit, as getting hit by any little bit of damage will take you out of stealth, leaving you incredibly invulnerable. Sombra's gun is a machine pistol. It's pretty short range and it has a big strip, but it's quick to reload and the range is a lot bigger than most other short range heroes like Tracer or Reaper. Because of their longer range, you can sometimes play like a normal DPS hero would and would just keep shooting from a distance instead of getting behind people. Her alternate fire is called Hack. You can hack heroes, health packs, and most other things that enemies place down. Hacking enemy heroes interrupts their abilities for a little while, but can also be stopped if Sombra takes damage during a hack. Hacked health packs can only be picked up by allies and respawn faster. After a little while though, the health packs aren't hacked anymore. Hacking an enemy object like a Torbjorn turret or Illari pylon disables them for a little while, making them useless. Sombra's first ability is called Virus. By shooting out a small projectile, it first deals damage on impact, then a couple seconds over time. A hacked target takes a bit more damage on impact, and keep in mind that a hacked target takes a bit more damage on impact. Virus is an amazing tool to take down a single target, and because it takes a little time for all the damage to go through, shoot a Virus as soon as the fight begins to get the maximum value. Securing a kill without Virus can be really hard, so keep that in mind. Sombra's second ability is Translocator. She throws a beacon and teleports to it, then becomes invisible faster. This ability makes Sombra so incredibly mobile, as you can go to pretty much every high ground in the game. Use Translocator to reposition or escape from a fight. If you're visible from a fight or taking too much damage, translocating can be a great way of quickly getting your stealth back as fast as possible. Sombra's ultimate is EMP, and she hacks everyone in a big circle around her, while also dealing a percentage of their current health. Sometimes you can use this to hack someone faster because an EMP doesn't get interrupted like hack does. Using this ability at the beginning of a fight instead of at the end is a great way to deal a lot of damage, especially if the enemies are grouped up and you can hit a 5-man EMP. Here, that's it. It's short, concise, it's specifically made for new players on Overwatch that know nothing about the purple bitch that just murdered them over and over again in spawn. And I'd love to see that the Overwatch content creation scene evolves and makes more and better tutorials. If I'd like to know how to counter an Ashe as D.Va, I'd like to be able to just find that easily. And I can also feel it, that I'm missing basic knowledge knowledge about the game. I keep finding out about these new little things about the game almost every day. New routes on the maps, new ability interactions, and sure, I haven't played long enough at a high enough level to even see those things. But come on, there's too many times where I don't even know what to do on the map versus another hero or versus another comp. I don't know the answers, but seemingly all the higher ranked players do. Please, explain. And also, please subscribe so we can get 300 subs.